Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, shall we start now?
Okay, Dr. Amru.
Okay. Melati kuntum, tumbuh melata, sayang merbah di pohon cemara. Assalamualaikum, mulanya kata, saya sembah. Pembuka bicara. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'du. Good afternoon. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us today at the Sustainability Talk Series 5 2021 with the topic of investing in a sustainable future. This sustainability talk is organized by the UKM-YSD Darby Chair for Sustainability in cooperation with the Research Center for Sustainable Process Technology, CESPRO, and the Department of Chemical and Process Technology under the Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment. This webinar is actually held on a monthly basis, which aimed to educate, discuss, and promote the exchange of ideas on the current sustainability issues in global perspective. For your information, we have already followed 4 previous discussions with various interesting topics on sustainability. And for this month, we have Dr. Hjh Yatela Zainal Abidin, the Chief Executive Officer of Yayasan Darby. Okay, before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. I'm technologist Dr. Abdullah Amru Indra Lutfi from the Department of Chemical and Process Engineering, UKM, and I will be the moderator for today's webinar. I am glad to welcome the Dean of Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, Professor Dato Insinyur Dr. Wan Hamidun Wan Badaruzaman. Welcome, Prof. Dato. Also, welcome to our speaker today, Dr. Hjh Yatela Zainal Abidin from Yayasan Darby. Welcome, Doctor. We are so glad you could be here today with us to share your insights on sustainability. We will start our webinar today with an opening remark by the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment. First, let us begin by reciting Ummul Kitab Al-Fatiha. Okay, before we begin, I'm going to go through some housekeeping to ensure that today's talk runs smoothly. Firstly, please mute your microphone throughout the session. And if you have any questions during the presentation, you can ask the speaker directly during the Q&A session at the end of this talk, or you can type them in the chat box and I will read them for you. Now, we will listen to the opening remark from the Dean of Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, Prof. Dato Insinyur Dr. Wan Hamidun Wan Badaruzaman. Please welcome dear Prof. Dato.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you everyone? Okay semua? Sihat?
Okay, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Terima kasih Dr. Abdullah Amru Indra Lutfi. Betul lah, I pronounce your name correctly.
Yes, Prof.
With distinguished speaker, Dr. Hjh Yatela Zainal Abidin, CEO of Yayasan Darby. Thank you, Doctor, for your willingness to deliver, I suppose, a very interesting topic this evening. And Dr. Pierre Mohammed, Manager of UKM-YSD Chair for Sustainability, Research Fellows, agencies, participants, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to extend my gratitude to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, kesyukurannya kepada Allah Taala for His blessings, rahmat, and for making it possible for us to attend this Sustainability Talk Series 5 2021, despite this challenging time. I was made to understand we have about 140 participants, registered participants from universities and research institutions, 120, from UKM, USM, UPM, UNIMAS, UITM, UTA, UMS, IIUM, UUM, UMP, UMS, Harriet Ward University, Malaysia, Cyber Jaya College, University Sabah, AIMS University, INTI International University. And also we have representatives from the private sectors and industries, 9 of you, from SDPB, ISP, REI, Dennis Victor, IFA Consulting, Sendram Berhad, Islamic Sustainable Finance, Alliance Malaysia. And from government agencies, one from MPOB, and 2 representatives from NGOs, Green Waste Selangor and Sustainable Education. I'm glad we are able to attract many players from the industry and also the government sector and from the institutions of higher learning. Now, given the need to, for the new norm, we are gathered here to attend this talk virtually that provides important insight into sustainability issues. Today is the 5th talk under the series of Sustainable Talk, where other series have been successfully conducted since June this year, with participation of already more than 700 participants from various organizations locally and internationally. There's someone from school from Sekolah Tabuan Ulu, 1 rep, and 5 from international community. Just short form here, DPM, what does that stand for? PTSP and PT Swasti Sidi Amaga Bioenergy and University Brunei Darussalam. Selamat datang kepada peserta daripada luar negara ke Malaysia. I'm actually very proud to have your participation. This has made what they call this talk series an international event. Ladies and gentlemen, this sustainability talk is a series of public lectures organized by the UKM-YSD Sime Darby, Chair for Sustainability under the Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment, in which I'm the Dean. I've just taken over last May from the previous Dean. This is an effort to promote sustainability efforts and shares current issues on sustainability from various renowned speakers according to their respective areas of expertise. This time around, our distinguished speaker is Dr. Hjh Yatela Zainal Abidin, who is the CEO of Yayasan Sime Darby. Allow me to give a brief introduction of our speaker for today. Dr. Hjh Yatela Zainal Abidin is the CEO of Yayasan Sime Darby, a position which she has held for more than 12 years. Oh, Dr. Hjh, nak ke mana lagi lepas ni agaknya? Nak naik ke atas lagi ke? So 12 years as the CEO of Yayasan Sime Darby. And YSD is the philanthropic arm of Sime Darby Plantation Berhad, Sime Darby Property Berhad, and Sime Darby Berhad. Over the years, the foundation has expanded its wings from offering scholarships to outstanding and deserving individuals to funding impactful conservation, outreach, and development programs. Yayasan Sime Darby focuses on the 5 pillars of education, community and health, environment, sport and arts and culture. The strategies of these 5 pillars are aligned to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, so that the impact will be towards achieving a balance in the social, economic, and environment dimensions of sustainability. We at UKM, we are very grateful to YSD for its financial support in the establishment of research endowments in UKM since 2010 through 2 chairs of excellence, namely the UKM-YSD Chair for Sustainable Development, Zero Waste Technology, and the UKM-YSD Chair for Climate Change. Yayasan Sime Darby has renewed their continuous commitment by approving consolidation of both chairs through the establishment of new chair, the UKM-YSD Sustainability Chair, for a period of 10 years from 1st January 2021 to 31st December 2030, with an endowment fund of 15 million ringgit, which is really a substantial amount. Thank you, Doctor. and YSD for very substantial contribution. And additionally, YSD has also approved 15 numbers of scholarships amounting to 1.5 million ringgit for UKM students to embark sustainability research under this chair. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Yatela, our distinguished speaker, she holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Accounting and Finance, which she obtained from the University of Wales, Aberystwyth, in the United Kingdom. Coincidentally, I'm from University of Wales, Cardiff, during my PhD, and the Vice Chancellor of Aberystwyth University was my former supervisor, Professor H.R. Evans. I'm not sure whether it was during Dr. Yatela's time or later or earlier. And Dr. Yatela has completed her Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA, professional degree at the Emily Wolf College of Accountancy, London, and went on to attain her ACCA fellowship. Due to her interest in education for the underprivileged, Dr. Yatela had completed her doctoral degree at UUM with a thesis entitled Using Life Stories to Understand the Development of Resilience in the Underprivileged. I would like to take this opportunity to state my appreciation and congratulations to all parties involved in organizing this sustainability talk. My hope is that this cooperation can be continued in the near future and that can have a useful impact on the well-being of present and future generations. Hence, it is with great pleasure that I welcome all of you to this seminar, and I hope that you will have productive learning experience. Without further ado, please welcome Dr. Hjh Yatela Zainal Abidin with the topic entitled Investing in a Sustainable Future. Thank you, Mr. MC. Back to you. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you so much, Prof. Dato. Now, please welcome Dr. Yatela. Dr. Yatela, the session is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Amru. And I'd like to say thank you so much to Prof. Dato Wan Hamidun for such a generous introduction there. All right, just to set the record straight, it's not more than 12 years, but almost 12 years in Yayasan Sime Darby, and I have been in the Sime Darby group for more than 25 years. Don't do the calculation for my age, please. Thank you. But now the Sime Darby group is broken into 4, and we are the philanthropic arm of the other 3 Sime Darby companies. Right. So I will proceed with my presentation. Let me share my screen. All right. Please let me know if you can't see or hear.
Yes, I can see your slides clearly.
All right, let me start the slideshow if I can. Right. All right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, investing in a sustainable future. This is what Yayasan Sime Darby does. So, I am going to go through a little bit about what Yayasan Sime Darby is and what our mission and vision are, and I'm going to go through and share with you some of the projects that we support. And like, I cannot share every single project here, and I hope that if there are any of my partners, our partners, Yayasan Sime Darby partners who are tuning in today and you don't show up on the screen, I am totally so sorry. But these we just chosen randomly because all of our projects are equally good towards a sustainable future, inshallah. All right, so now we are the philanthropic arm of the 3 Sime Darby companies: Sime Darby Property, Sime Darby Berhad, and Plantation. And our vision is that to lead and make a sustainable impact, you see, and a difference in the lives of others. And our mission is that we are dedicated to enhancing lives through our 5 pillars, which I will be talking about a lot after this, and that we practice high ethical values and observe good corporate governance. You can ask UKM. They know how strict we are and how we come in for audits, etc. And because they are such good partners, that's why they have been with us for actually almost 12 years already. As long as I have been, almost as long as I have been in Yayasan Sime Darby. Now, our journey, Yayasan Sime Darby's journey, it started in 1982. That's when Yayasan Sime Darby was formed. And that's when we began awarding premium scholarships to Oxbridge, to Ivy League universities around the world. In 2007, the merger of Sime Darby, Guthrie, and Golden Hope happened. And the three foundations of these three companies were also merged. And in 2009, the foundation was launched, introducing the 5 pillars. So it was expanded, doing more than only awarding premium scholarships. And in 2010, that's when I was brought in. So I am the first CEO of Yayasan Sime Darby. Before that, it was handled by management of Sime Darby Group. So I was appointed because it is now a big foundation with this merger. And in 2017, the demerger of the Sime Darby Group happened to these 3 companies that I mentioned just now, and we remain the philanthropic arm of these 3 Sime Darby companies. And today we have 76 ongoing projects. We have almost 900 scholarships and bursaries to take care of at any one time, and we offer 400 new scholarships and bursaries annually every year. Look out for the openings and for applications, usually in March every year. Okay, so we map our 5 pillars. 5 pillars I was talking about just now, and what Prof. Datuk Wan Hamidun was mentioning. Mainly education, that's our bread and butter. Almost 40% of our allocation goes to education. And then environment, community and health, sports and arts and culture. But we mapped all our pillar strategies to the 17 SDGs because we would like our 5 pillars to resonate towards a sustainable future, to support broad social, economic, and environmental impacts. So what's a sustainable future? What are the SDGs? In 2015, the United Nations adopted the SDGs. Hopefully, it was a global call to all countries, rich and poor, towards going to end poverty as well as to protect our planet. And with an idea, with a hope and dream that by 2030, everyone would live in peace and prosperity. So the main idea is of a sustainable future is that we can go on living happily in this world with no one left behind. And this is what we're trying to do in a small way, in Yayasan Sime Darby's way. And you don't have to be doing big things. You can leave them to others. You do the small things. That's what I believe. No matter how big or small you are, whatever small thing that you are doing to contribute to the SDGs, you are contributing towards a sustainable future, inshallah. All right, so go straight into our first pillar, which is education. Now, we provide equal opportunity to quality education. Our main focus areas are that we try to give access to basic education to everyone, leaving no one behind, especially the underprivileged, those who cannot afford education. We'd like to give them an opportunity so that they can bring their families out of poverty, to change the whole outlook of their future and their family's future. Education transformation programs where we're giving people a second chance, like for example, those who did not pass the SPM. There is this program that we have with UITM called the Pra-Pendidikan Tinggi, PPT program, where we are supporting together with UITM on pre-diploma programs so that they can pass through and go on to do their diplomas, even though they did not make it through SPM. And I would like to say there's so many success stories from that program with, just imagine not passing your SPM enough to do your diploma, and today having a master's and doing your PhD. Isn't that such a wonderful, life-changing story? It's so motivating for me to do this program with UITM, as well as research and empowerment. Like, for example, we're doing a program with ideas to look at the education system of the Orang Aslis at a national level, looking at the policies, what needs to be changed, what needs to be improved, in order for getting things to change on the ground. So these are our three main pillars, just some examples of what we do. We empower youth and future leaders through our scholarship programs. As you can see here, we've contributed over the years from 1980 to 326 over million ringgit towards this program to help more than 5,100 scholars. And most of them, if you look at them, we are supporting the underprivileged, including the differently able, the OKUs, yeah? And most of them, 50% of them are from this category of underprivileged. Skill enrichment, 24%, where we help the B40s who would like to do TVET certifications. And so we are focusing on these two, which is B40s, OKUs, as well as those who want to do TVET and other tertiary education. And then we also help with excellent scholars, sending them overseas or local universities as well. So you can see the SDGs here that we correspond with. We try to make that change, even though the numbers here are big, but every single scholar here is a project, is something that we will have to monitor and make sure that we make that change. I'd like to share with you a video of this gentleman here, Firdaus Abu Hassan. And he was the one who actually motivated me to do my doctoral degree about the resilience in underprivileged students. Let's listen to his story.
Saya berasal daripada Kulim Kedah. Saya merupakan anak yang kelima daripada 8 orang adik-beradik. Saya berasal daripada keluarga yang berpendapatan rendah, yang boleh dikatakan agak miskin. Bermula umur 14 tahun, saya hilang dari penglihatan saya. Saya tak boleh terima kenyataan tersebut. Okay? So saya merasa macam rasa Allah tu kejam. Kenapa bagi saya yang tak nampak, orang lain masih boleh melihat? Kenapa saya perlu bersedih? Okay, kenapa saya perlu menangis hari-hari, terfikir bila aku nak nampak balik? So we don't know about that. So slowly saya mula untuk memahami nature sebagai seorang OKU penglihatan itu, dan perlahan-lahan alhamdulillah saya dapat menerima kenyataan yang saya merupakan salah seorang OKU penglihatan yang buta kedua belah mata. Ya, saya tak nampak, tapi aku akan buktikan satu ketika nanti aku akan masuk universiti. So alhamdulillah, okey. Syukur saya nak nyatakan di mana saya dapat masuk ke universiti. Bila dah masuk universiti, terfikir tentang isu kewangan. Alhamdulillah, saya cuba cari pembiayaan dan saya bersyukur kerana Yayasan Darby sudi menaja sepanjang pengajian saya di Universiti Melayu. Antara semua anugerah dan pencapaian yang saya perolehi, Saya sangat bersyukur kerana saya telah dianugerahkan seorang isteri yang sangat penyayang dan dapat menerima kekurangan yang ada pada diri saya. Alhamdulillah, saya sangat bersyukur walaupun saya hilang deria penglihatan kedua belah mata, sehingga hari ini saya dapat meneruskan kehidupan seperti orang lain. Nama saya Muhammad Firdaus Abdul dan saya merupakan OKU penglihatan, iaitu buta kedua belah mata.
Okay, so Firdaus, just like to add on, he comes from a very, very poor family of 8 siblings. His father is a retired army personnel, his mother is a housewife. He's number 5. And he, although being the blind one, is the only one of his siblings who went to university. And he has completed his master's as well under Yayasan Zainal Abidin scholarship. So, yeah. Right. Next. Now the other projects that I'd like to share under our education pillar is the annual Sime Darby Young Innovators Challenge, where we work with Chumbaka to cultivate innovative mindsets and develop soft skills to secondary school students. Yeah. And we have quite a few success stories now. What happens is that we engage these secondary school students. So you can see that, you know, from when we started in 2016, we have supported, we have already engaged with more than 11,500 secondary school students and almost 1,500 secondary school teachers. We also have 1,200 over undergraduate students as mentors in our program, as well as innovation officers from Sime Darby. And we work for a few months with Chumbaka, having now everything is online, workshops and trainings and engagements with industry experts for these kids to build their prototypes, you know, the prototypes to help one person in their community. And just recently, last week, we had the finals, and Dr. Pio was also part of it, where we chose from the 15 finalists who went through a whole week's national camp session. We chose 7 winners, and these 7 winners will be getting in total 60,000 ringgit in innovation grants for them to build their prototypes to help their communities. So in the past, there are quite a few prototypes. These are just a few shared here. Just like to bring your attention to Microscope, which is the first ever open source hardware registered in Malaysia. And we helped them produce 2,000 units and distributed to 200 selected schools nationwide, because a lot of schools do not have enough microscopes. And they invented a microscope with just a box costing 5 ringgit and using a smartphone. And we have an app that they can use to share all their pictures to the world, actually. So these are identifying of problems in their communities and solving their problems with using STEM, using innovation, using soft skills, right? We also look for a better future for refugee and underprivileged students. We're working with Yayasan Child Kit on this. I'm sure many of you know about Yayasan Child Kit and their work, and we have been supporting them for more than 10 years already. And so far, we are assisting them to give reading and arithmetic skills to refugee students who cannot go to school, as well as give various soft skills, develop soft skills development programs for those kids of Chowkit or Kampung Baru who don't have anything to do and they're on the streets, so they come in and they are given development programs for soft skills. I'm very proud to say that a large percentage of them actually finish their educations and go on to their tertiary education. And with our new phase with Yayasan Chowkit, we are targeting for 95% of the kids that come in here to learn how to read and write and do arithmetic, the refugee kids, as well as those who are undocumented kids, that they will be able to read and write and go on to do better things, 95% of them. And 95% will be equipped with various soft skills and development. Okay. Our second pillar, community and health, where we improve the lives of the disadvantaged and marginalized by promoting rights and their well-being, as well as improving community and health. Now, since March 2020, well, it's been almost 2 years, yeah. We've been doing a lot of work on supporting COVID emergency assistance. And the numbers that you see on the screen are what we captured of our support. We've spent almost 21 million on the support on COVID, on various things, on food, on grocery vouchers, on medical as well as non-medical equipment and consumables. Medical equipment would be like ventilators, oxygen concentrators, and then PPEs, hygiene kits and primary healthcare kits, and then vehicles. Logistics is very important to get the assistance to where it needs to be. And we also gave certain vehicles to the COVID assessment centers for them to transport patients. And then we also supported medical and non-medical volunteers with some allowances, a little bit of school furniture as well in a post-flood assistance. And so you can see that we have supported mainly B40 families, mainly, which includes, and also some Orang Asli households. And of course, a lot of our support also went to frontliners and volunteers. We're also a long-term partner with the Malaysian AIDS Foundation as well as Malaysian AIDS Council. Now for those who are new to this, there's a lot of stigma in the country. People who are living with HIV and AIDS. Did you know that only 55% of those people diagnosed with HIV actually go for treatment? And treatment in Malaysia is given by the government for free, at least for the first line. The first line of treatment, the first line and ARV treatment, the medication is given free at all public hospitals in the country. But only 55% of people who are diagnosed with HIV seek treatment, even though it's free. Why is this? It's because of stigma. And we'll need to work against that. And one of the ways, we do a lot of advocacy programs with Malaysian AIDS Council. And one of the ways is with a Red Ribbon short film. And we've been partnering with them for a few years already. And actually tomorrow we'll be judging who this year's winners are. So it's a competition open to secondary school students as well as university students. And I'm very, very proud, very, very talented, these filmmakers, how they tell the stories about people living in HIV and AIDS and what kind of stigma that they go through, losing their jobs, losing relationships, or all kinds of things just because they are people living with HIV. And we also support Malaysian AIDS Foundation to save the lives of B40 Malaysians who cannot accept the first line of treatment already. You have to go on to the second line. And the second line, the medication is not free. And some of the medications are expensive. It can go up to 700,000 every 2 months, which is very expensive. So we come in to help with the treatment to save lives of those who cannot afford to, but need that second line medication. All right. And Women's Aid Organization, a very long-term partner whom we are working with. We started off supporting their domestic violence shelter. And now we have gone to even bigger things at a national level after more than 10 years working with them. So you can see all kinds of activities and projects that we are doing with the Women's Aid Organization. But for today, our focus is that we are assisting them with the resources to develop as well as get 3 new laws in the country to be approved at Parliament. The first law is the anti-stalking one, second one's on gender equality, and third is on sexual harassment. We also are helping them to do policy reforms, with them doing long-term research work, as well as increased advocacy campaigns, as well as for them to build the capacity of training policymakers and stakeholders at all levels nationwide. So you can see on the screen that certain things have been pushed and have been collaborated with the government, with and WAO, on how to assist women who are experiencing violence, as well as harassment, sexual harassment, anti-stalking and stalking harassment. And Cancer Research Malaysia, we have been a long-term partner. Sime Darby is a long-term partner. They're actually our sister foundation. We're supporting them with resources for them to do really good things. They're the only organization that does research on cancers, Asian cancers. And so they've won so many international awards because they're focusing on the people in this region, because lots of research is being done with treatments and preventions all for usually Caucasians, not for Asians. So they're focusing on Asians. And we are working with them in order for them to help them accelerate cancer prevention and treatment projects. For example, DNA vaccine for oral cancer and breast cancer in immunotherapy treatment, right? We're also helping them to enable early detection of cancer to increase survival rates from cancer. For example, there's this mobile app that is being developed called the Mimosa, a mobile app that helps to diagnose oral cancer at an early stage, so that can increase the survival rates, as well as supporting the B40s by expanding the patient navigation program. This program is done in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, with the public hospitals, to assist B40 women to navigate through barriers in order for them to access cancer treatment quickly, as well in order for them to improve their survival rates from cancer. So this is all very impactful work that we're supporting at Cancer Research Malaysia. I'd like to, because I can't tell you everything that we're doing in cancer, in community and health, because we do quite a lot, but I'd like to share with you an impact video. This is, we did this in 2020, because we wanted to document 10 years of impact of our community and health pillars. So it does talk about a little bit about our 5 pillars, but the focus is on the impact that we've done in 10 years of our operations team. I'd like to share with you.
Sime Darby Foundation is the philanthropic arm of Sime Darby Berhad, Sime Darby Plantation, and Sime Darby Property. Established in 1982, it first focused on scholarships. But since 2009, the foundation expanded its wings to fund impactful conservation, outreach, and development programs. The foundation revolves around 5 pillars: education, environment, community and health, sports, arts and culture. Sime Darby Foundation supports programs and sustainable initiatives that promotes the well-being and health of disadvantaged people. We assist patients nationwide who are financially constrained but are in critical need of coronary angioplasty. The Foundation realizes the importance to contribute to HIV/AIDS prevention, care and support. We provide abandoned babies a chance to be loved, cared for and raised in a family. The Foundation supports palliative care to improve the quality of life of patients and their families facing the problems associated with life-threatening illnesses. We assist to provide shelter, protection, and support to those who are affected by domestic violence and other criminal and violent acts against women. The Foundation supports critical research to improve the health of all Malaysians. We support awareness programs that will help communities to make better decisions on their well-being. Sime Darby Foundation has been steadily contributing to aid for disaster relief, whether in Malaysia or in neighbouring countries. We have funded efforts to control the spread of diseases, help build temporary shelters, provide food parcels, personal hygiene kits, and mobile clinics for pandemic, flood, fire, and earthquake victims. The Foundation supports capacity building programs that can improve the health and the quality of life of communities. The last 10 years has been a decade of meaningful impact through education, environment, community and health, sports, arts and culture. Sime Darby Foundation promises to make greater strides for a brighter future for our communities, our nation, and our world.
Okay.
Sime Darby.
Right. So next, my next pillar. Now I have loads of slides for environment. And that also I did not share every single project. I'll just like scan through. I won't go into very deeply on each of them. But you can see that our focus areas are for ecosystem conservation, environment education and awareness, as well as sustainable development and lifestyle. So actually the chair with UKM here touches on all 3 of our focus areas. Right, so this is an impact, slide where we have to just show how much we have done. And we have planted more than 1.5 million trees, a lot of them in Sabah and also in 3 states in the Central Forest Line. And we have focused also on fauna and flora protection, work on the ground with anti-poaching, as well as research activities towards national policy changes, etc., as well as industry SOPs. Capacity building and engagements with individuals, teaching about the importance and what entails in climate action. Right. Now, this is the UKM slide. We had 2 chairs before, the zero waste chair. It was called the Sustainable Development Chair, focusing on zero waste in the palm oil industry and palm oil mills. And we have quite a lot of impact, as you can see, in knowledge dissemination, collaborations, high quality research, as well as capacity building initiatives. I think three inventions were almost there for commercialization, which we are seeing through now. Second chair is on climate change. As well, you can see that the impact in knowledge dissemination, research, collaborations, and the research papers and capacity building are all there. And after 10 years of supporting these two chairs, we decided let's streamline these two chairs. They're very, very focused on sustainability. Why don't we have a chair for sustainability? And this is for the next 10 years with 3 research trust areas. I have to give a little bit of info on these trust areas because we have very clear KPIs. You can ask Dr. Pierre. I think he's like, it's very tough for him to meet, but we've already agreed. We've done up these KPIs with Sime Darby Plantation as well. So it is a very good example of academia, industry, and public. Yeah, towards national policy improvements and community behavioral changes with programs with communities in climate change mitigation and adaptation. So that's under climate change. Smart circular solutions with zero waste, best management practices and technologies using IR 4.0 technologies, and knowledge generation and dissemination through smart partnerships. Like, for example, this platform that UKM has done up, smart partnerships with academia and industry as well as public. And last but not least, we want to nurture talents, future talents, towards a sustainable future. That's why we've come on board with another 1.5 million in postgraduate scholarship, postgraduate scholarships as well for this chair. Right. Now we go into our projects very fast. I'll have to just go through very fast. This is a project that we worked with Sabah Forestry as well as Sime Darby Plantation to rehabilitate orangutan habitat in northern Ulu Segama and now Bukit Piton. Because of our project, the cabinet approved that this area is to be classified as class 1 and is fully protected today. Yay! And it's covered. And you can see previously I could not see any orangutan nest. Today it's just brimming with orangutan nests. I'm so happy to go and see the area. Right. Next is the Sime Darby Plant a Tree program, where we support Sime Darby plantations to plant trees, and in many situations endangered, rare and threatened trees in their estates, right, in areas that they cannot plant palm oil. So you can see that we have planted so many trees, 300 over trees in Peninsular Malaysia in the first phase. That's the first phase here. Second phase is in Jenta, Temerloh, planting 136 over trees, coming up with an arboretum of endangered, rare and threatened trees, where these seedlings can be given out for non-profit reasons and for research. You can contact us if you need those seedlings. 126 species of ERT trees there. And then our third current phase is in Kamuning's estate, Sungai Siput, where we're trying to plant 70,000 trees, as well as focusing on capacity building. All this trying to improve and increase biodiversity levels in palm oil estates. Sun bears, we've been supporting sun bears for so long, and because of COVID, we had to come back and support them again because they were sustainable. When we supported them in the first and second phases, they were sustainable and they could manage on their own. But because their income came from overseas tourists and COVID stopped that, so we are supporting them now. Hopefully so with with tourists coming in soon, so they can sustain themselves again. To support sun bears that are, poached and kept in homes, to rescue them, put in this sanctuary, to rehabilitate these sun bears and release them out in the wild again in their natural homes. Okay, for elephants, develop best management practices for human-elephant coexistence. So we're working with University of Nottingham on this, with MEME, Management and Ecology of Malaysian Elephants. Elephants, they cannot live in primary forests. They have to come out to secondary forests and fringes of where humans live. So there always going to be a conflict. So we'll need to learn how to coexist with them. And so how? So this project helps us do this, and we've supported Sime Darby Plantation to come up with the very first SOPs on human-elephant conflict management for the palm oil industry, and it's open for anyone who wants to have a copy, so that you can also use this. It's open source. Congo Alliance for the orangutans in Sabah, and focusing on Kinabatangan, working with quite a few palm oil players in around Kinabatangan area to come up with best management practices, so that humans and orangutans can coexist together, because the females orangutans, they don't move. They live sometimes in fragmented forests within the palm oil estates, and they don't move. So you're not supposed to move her and her family. You're not supposed to do that, because it's going to give her a lot of stress, and she's not going to be surviving. Only the males will move. So you'll see some orangutans move through the palm oil. So this best management practices will help us understand what to do and what not to do when we have orangutans moving through or living around palm oil industry, so that we can live with them harmoniously, inshallah. And we also have empowerment of local communities by looking after our environment. And one very important project that we're having now in Perak with Global Environment Center is on mangrove, and teaching the communities around these areas in Kuala Gurla as well as Setiawan about planting mangrove trees and how to live off sustainably from the mangrove, so that they can earn a sustainable income in the future, for them to have a sustainable future, inshallah. And we also have collaborations with Nestle, as well as Sime Darby Plantation, where you can see that we finished the Kinabatangan Relief RI project, planting 800,000 trees with them, helping with livelihoods as well. If you see, a lot of our tree planting projects have to do with the communities, where the communities come in, we help them a little bit on the livelihoods, hopefully with and knowledge, so that they take ownership of this area, so that this is theirs, and they will ensure that it's sustained in the future. Once we plant, it's maintained and it's looked after, and they understand the importance of these replanted areas. Now on the right, it's Relief. This is a very new RELEF with Nestle and Sime Darby Plantation, because about 90% of these the 860 hectares of planting areas belong to Sime Darby Plantation. The hilly areas, the riparian buffers, all those areas that they're not planting palm oil, these will be planted with trees, with 23 different seedling types with Nestle together. So planting more and more trees towards climate action. And we're working with UMS as well in restoration of biodiversity. The best way to plant trees in plantation estates, inshallah. Coming up with an e-manual, hopefully, for a cost-effective, sustainable restoration process at estates. And we'll be having documentaries and workshops as well, while we are planting some 34,000 over seedlings in the area of 4 Sime Darby estates in Sandakan Bay in Sabah. And hornbills as well. Previously, we did work with MNS, Malaysian Nature Society, on hornbills. Now we're working with Gaia. And hopefully it will be impactful, more impactful, coming up with a Sabah Hornbill Action and Management Plan, first SOPs for hornbill artificial nest boxes and fixed seed propagation. And did you know that, for birds like the hornbills, they are fragmented if they do not have their food plants nearby. So we'll need to ensure that all these fragmented forests that we have some preferred food plants for the hornbills, so that they can move smoothly across these areas. And we need to identify, one target is 100 hornbill preferred food plants. And also we want to come up with the first National Hornbill Day celebrations for awareness about the importance of hornbills in biodiversity. Now, I've been always getting like, oh, you always do everything on land, but we actually do quite a lot for marine life as well. Our partners are Reef Check Malaysia at a level of the Tioman Island Marine Park management plans in order for the locals to take charge with the state government to ensure that the marine park, the Tioman Island Marine Park, is taken care of, corals preserved, waste management is there. Lang Tengah Turtle Watch, as well as the Fuse Equatia, both are looking at turtles. One's in Lang Tengah, the other Fuse is in Perhentian, as well as in Redang Marine Parks. Turtles, and both also looking at SOPs and looking at how best, and both have different, for example, Fuse Equatia is coming up with an app so that, tourists can go into the app and learn about the turtles and other things as well. And they can actually include if they sighted any turtles when they were snorkeling or where they were diving. All right, and then Marine Research Foundation, focusing on turtles as well in Sabah actually, but using a turtle excluder device because of a lot of turtles get caught in shrimp trawler nets and they die in the nets. So with this, a large percentage, 90% of the turtles that get caught will escape and survive with this, if you can see. And so it's a lot about the training of fishermen, as well as working with the government in Sabah, as well as I think starting in Perak. And MARSET, research organization looking at marine mammals like whales, porpoises, in the western part of the Peninsular Malaysia, looking at how to conserve them, focusing on noise in the water, above the water, so that they can survive. So all these are coming up with national or state policies towards the conservation of the marine life. All right, so we are also focusing on education awareness, and where else to start but at schools. So this is a new project in Tun Mustafa Park in 14 secondary schools in Kudat, Kota Marudu, and Pitas. And not only will they be trained, we'll be having workshops for the students as well as the teachers, but 70 environment team projects will come out from these school students, so that even the communities around the Tun Mustafa Park, which are really will be affected by climate change, will also understand what to do and how to adapt and how to mitigate climate change. And of course, we're coming up with a module of teaching, as well as educational books, 1,000 to be printed, and an e-book to be distributed nationwide to all schools who require this. We're also working with GGF, Green Growth Asia Foundation, and WWF in Kedah and Malacca, also on Eco Schools program, designing an online digital platform, as well as doing programs with their communities as well, and coming up with modules with the teachers working on the modules for them to teach on how to address environment issues with the students. And aside from that, we have sponsored these 4 documentary series. Please do scan them. They are really, really good, high quality, and very informative. Like for example, Layalia teaches us about animals that we do not know exist in Malaysia, for example. Also highlighting individuals passionate in environment conservation, as well as certain areas that are beautiful, rich in biodiversity, and they're beautifully made. Layalia is in Malay, it's in Bahasa Malaysia with English subtitles. The other 3 are in English, Borneo Jungle Diaries, but I think they have Malay subtitles. Borneo Jungle Diaries Part 1 and Borneo Jungle Diaries Part 2. They're made all in Sabah, beautifully made by Scuba Zoo. And then we have one Borneo Ocean Diaries, underwater world, to conserve our beautiful marine life down there. So hope you got the time to scan and just know about them, and maybe look at and enjoy and share with your family and friends about the knowledge that you can get from 4 of these documentary series. Each of these documentaries have a series of short documentaries that I myself have learned a lot from. And we also focus on anti-poaching efforts in Belum, Royal Belum, where we're supporting Perak State Park Corporation, PSPC, with 3 patrol teams of 15 people made out of locals as well as orang asli half-half to patrol Royal Belum to complement their teams of patrollers. And in Sabah as well, we have the Protect team working with the Danau Girang Field Center to do the same thing. It's a lot of issues within Sabah and a lot of areas where they've already got perpetrators and confiscated all kinds of things which were to be smuggled out, as well as weapons. Menrak patrol team, full orang aslis, 10 orang aslis in 2 teams to complement PSPC in patrolling. We're doing this project with Rimau, and part of this project is also having junior rangers of the orang asli kids, about 45 orang asli kids from the Jahai tribe who don't go to school because the school is just so far away. So hoping to teach them something about the environment, importance of the forest around them, and the tigers especially. And Kenyir State Park, we're working with Terengganu State Park Management Council as well as nature-based solutions in Kenyir to do a management plan to manage the Kenyir State Park, involving the locals as well as the orang aslis towards impact to conserve the areas. Okay, so I'd like to share with you some information about what we do in Royal Belum with Perak State Park Corporation. So you can see the kind of passion and sincerity and the hardships that these patrollers go through when they are working in the anti-poaching teams. It's very dangerous, not only because of the poachers who carry weapons, but it's also because of all kinds of diseases that they can actually contract in the forest as well. And we are here supporting them because we believe that they believe with their work on the ground, inshallah, we can make the difference and we can stop iconic animal species like the tigers in Royal Belum going extinct, inshallah. Okay, so for the arts and culture pillar, we're looking at sustainable of our arts and culture and heritage. We like to encourage as well as develop the demand for, as well as educate and empower in the arts. Now, Ask Dance Company is an organization. They stand from Azwara before, Akademi Seni Warisan Kebangsaan, and they are now Ask, a dance company, and what they do is they used to go out to the whole of the country to do workshops for free in order for the dying dancers, especially Malay dying dancers, do not die. They spread the knowledge about these dances. And you can see all these physical workshops. But when COVID happened here, you can see down here, we are doing stuff in the studio, doing stuff online, recording as well as carrying out workshops online. And they found a way and they perfected that way of doing it. So you can see the impact that they have made on the online program that we are spotting for them to teach the dying dancers in Malaysia with lessons, as well as coming up with tutorial videos, as well as guidebooks for these traditional dances. And we worked with British Council as well on developing creative hubs. Seriously, I did not know about creative hubs even before they approached us for this project. And I understand now that creative hubs are so important, not to only develop the arts and develop ideas and develop people in order to contribute to good economy of the country. And we can do this via digital networking platforms, as well as capacity building initiatives, as well as training on entrepreneurial skills. This collaboration is also done with a university, Malaya. And so far, 120 creative hubs nationwide have been uploaded to our brand new website created. And we had also 3 scholars under this project. It's a very impactful, inshallah, a project for creative hubs in the country. And the sharing of knowledge is not only here, regional, it's also international. So this is support for preserving indigenous traditions and intangible cultural heritage. We have 2 similar projects, but of very different nature. Pitch Borneo are done with 3 coastal communities in Sabah, as well as 3 coastal communities in Sarawak. So it's in Sabah and Sarawak. Documenting, working with the locals, with the people in these indigenous communities, to develop them to be the ambassadors, to train the people, to ensure that all these repositories are set up. And for Pitch Borneo, it's going to be at an international level, because the repository will also include the Library of Congress in Washington. So in Malaysia, we're working with World Wanderers is the main social entity working with us, but working with and then the National Library and East Malaysia State Libraries, as well as internationally the Library of Congress, as well as a Human Rights Institute of University of Connecticut, who will be training the indigenous people on how to retain and how to record their intangible heritage, cultural heritage, in order for a sustainable future, inshallah. And on the right, you see Arts Ed. This is a project with working with on a journey of harmony in Georgetown, looking at 2 or 3 cultural themes, in Georgetown, putting it on a digital platform in order for this to be shared with all the world, as well, focused on schools for education as well. and Kuala Lumpur Performing Arts Centre, they came to us in 2013 because they did not have enough fundings, even though YTL were giving them the space for free, but they just could not operate and they were going to close their doors. They were going to close down if we didn't come in to assist. And we came in to assist. And almost 11 years later, they're still here with our support of almost 8 million ringgit. And I think they needed more support during COVID as well after that scare in 2013. And I'm very proud to say that still they are starting their operations now with the what do you call it, with, of course, with SOPs and everything. And they've also supported our Yayasan Sime Darby Arts Festival at KLPAC. The YSD Arts Festival is special because it is a free for all festival for every single person in the family, from the young to the old, with all kinds of activities for children and for the old folks and in between, as well as it is focusing on inclusivity. We focus on including the disabled, including those who cannot see, who cannot hear, in order for them to have a voice through the arts and for them to come and enjoy the arts together with everybody else as well. Let me show you a little bit about what we did in our previous 2018 YSD Arts Festival. The 2021 is being postponed to hopefully 2022, inshallah. So you can see the YSD Arts Festival is the most inclusive festival in the country and maybe even in the region. Next time, inshallah, please come. to KL Pack, or enjoy the satellite programs that we will do online, inshallah, as well. Farid was saying that I was enjoying the music. I do enjoy the music. Okay. Right, this is our last pillar, the sports pillar now. Not many foundations focus on these sports, but there are others as well who do it, but not many. We focus on healthy living and development programs from the grassroots to bring up world-class athletes. You would see Azizul Hasni is a very good example of support from Yayasan Zainal Abidin that made him a world-class athlete. Shah as well as Fatiha and Anis and Fadil now in track cycling. Women and girls development in sports. Now, lots of programs supporting men and boys in sports. And because there is a gap, because Yayasan Zainal Abidin is now trying to focus on getting more women and girls to be interested, to be developed in sports, and providing them the platforms and support that they need to ensure inclusivity as per the SDGs. And there are two programs here, rugby as well as cricket, that we focus on female participants. You see the percentages here for rugby, 18% of the female participants in the national development programs are girls. Rugby, well, I've seen them in action, they're awesome. And for the Adiwira cricket program, as well as the national development program for cricket, already 38% are female participants, and we hope to get even more, inshallah. And these are all national programs that we are supporting with Malaysia Rugby as well as Malaysia Cricket. And with football, these are two different projects that we support. One is in Sarawak, building resilience, focusing on at-risk youth in areas that have high levels of drug use, discipline issues in school with a lot of different. And then we choose the ones with the most discipline issues, but with some potential to come and be developed in our football development program. It's called Midnight Football. And we've seen in the first phase, the kind of you can see that 60% of positive behavioral changes and improved academic results, for kids who were problematic before. That's a big achievement. 80% improvement in classroom participation. That's a lot to speak for. And out of the 47 participants in phase 1, we have 18 kids with potential careers in football have already gone into Sekolah Sukan from this program, that's the kind of impact towards a sustainable future, inshallah. And now we're waiting for things to get better to focus, to start with our phase 2. And on the right is a elite players development program at the Bukit Jelutong football field. We've been supporting quite a lot of players all these years. Now we want to start with the girls. We've already gotten 40 girls, and 7 talent have come out. We hope to get girls talents hopefully from football very soon once we start really in full force. And these are our stars. You can see that Shah Firdaus here. He got himself to the Olympics with our support. Hopefully next will be Anis and Fadil as well. And we have been supporting them all these years to prepare them to get the points to compete and get the points to go into the Olympics. And also you can see that they also engaged to motivate young kids to go into sports, to have a healthy lifestyle, etc., etc. So we hope. So we'll be supporting all this while with. This is with Azizullah. We did not support him for the silver, but we supported him at the bronze level because after that there was another sponsor already. But ultimately, I'd like to share with you our video on the track cycling team. This one I need to reduce because it's very loud.
why the elite training base is based in Melbourne, Australia, is that Malaysia doesn't have, well, at that stage didn't have a world-class facility.
So masa tu saya qualify nombor 16 and first round tu saya terpaksa jumpa dengan the fastest qualifier.
Of course, setiap atlet dia ada dia punya inspirasi untuk pemakas semangat dalam berlumba.
Selama 2 tahun tu memang saya struggle sikit kat sini. Struggle bukan daripada training, struggle daripada mental kan.
The support that we've had from Sime Darby is just, it's unconditional. To have support for almost 12 years now, it's unheard of anywhere in the world of high performance sport. So they've just been incredibly loyal people, and yeah, I just can't thank them enough.
Okay, so you can see how tough life is as a sports person as well. But that's what they have to do in order to make a name for our country, inshallah, at a global pedestal. Okay, and that's it. Yep, I'd like to just share with you the, what do you call it, our annual report that's just out. You can scan the QR code here to get our annual report, and our annual report this year is about hope, going against all odds in the face of COVID and all the other things that we've been supporting. With that, thank you. Sorry, it took me a little bit more than an hour, but I hope you enjoyed the videos as much as I did.
Yeah, thank you.
So much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Hjh Yatela Zainal Abidin, for the very insightful talk today. We have learned so many things today about 5-pillar strategy related to sustainability, about instilling sustainability in education, how can we develop sustainable ecosystem, protecting and conserving wildlife, preserving indigenous traditions, and so on and so forth. Now we will open the Q&A session. Dear participants, if you have any questions, you can ask the speaker directly or you can type them in the chat box. Okay, do we have any questions from the floor? Okay, we have several questions from the participants. The first question from Dr. Lim Oi Wei from Heriot Watt University. How does sustainability awareness can be instilled among higher education students?
So we have a few projects that help us do that, and it depends on the causes that you want to support to go towards a sustainable future. For example, for university students, we have the Sime Darby Young Innovators Challenge, where they can come and volunteer as mentors to secondary school students to help them develop their prototypes, to help the communities around them in order to increase their soft skills. I mean, talking about the university students' soft skills, dealing with secondary students, teaching them, mentoring them to develop their prototypes. Another way is also how we do it is awareness programs with programs and advocacy campaigns against stigma of HIV and AIDS. And that's done with our Red Ribbon Club, focusing on all the universities in the country. The Red Ribbon short film competition also, as I shared just now, for university students to come on board to compete. And if they want to make a film about HIV and AIDS, they need to understand it. And they need to understand the stigma around it. So that would be also going to something on sustainability. Not to mention about a lot of projects that we have with universities on our tree planting projects, which has research, even like GEC, the one, mangrove, as well as, of course, the elephants and the orangutan coexistence management. All these involve universities that have university students working on our project as researchers. Our UKM chair is a very good example, right? So many postgraduate students working on all the small that makes up the whole big chair at UKM for sustainability. And they can choose what they want to do: community building, smart circular IR4 technologies. So there are so many ways to do it. I guess to Dr. Lim, is it? I would recommend that pick something that is close to the heart of the university and do it with the students. Find interested partners. Partnerships are always good with the public as well as with industry. I hope that answers your question, Dr. Lim.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. The second question is coming from Dr. Sharifah Dawood from USM. Okay, let's say if we want to organize these activities, the activities related to sustainability, we need to have stakeholders engagement, right? So how do we ensure the inclusivity and stakeholder engagement?
What did they mean by inclusivity? What do you want to include? Do you want to include, number one, the disabled? Do you want to include women and girls? There's so many ways of looking at inclusivity. Or are you saying that you want to include as many different types of stakeholders as possible? So it depends on what you want to do on the inclusivity. Everyone, you will need to have your strategy working towards that lah. Like for example, YSD Arts Festival, right? This is one example. We want to make it very inclusive. We want to invite the disabled to come, those who are in wheelchairs come. So what do? We train our volunteers on how to manage people with disabilities. You know that you cannot touch a wheelchair. The late Peter Tan taught us this. You cannot touch a wheelchair of a disabled person unless the person allows you to, because the wheelchair is part of the body of that person. So it's like touching that person, you see. So all these things are being taught to volunteers so that we want, when people come, they will feel comfortable and in this, they feel included and they can enjoy it as much as the other person as well. And then we also have this program where sign language for those who cannot listen, to enjoy shows, enjoy films, those kind of initiatives to include the disabled, for example, with our arts festival. So it'll depend on what kind of sustainability project that you want to do and what kind of marginalized community that you want to include. For women and girls in sports, we make it conducive for girls to come in. We have icons put out there, like our new star scholarship recipient, Miss Alia Yung. She's a gold medalist SEA Games for water skiing. We're supporting her with a scholarship to study overseas while she creates a name for Malaysia at the global arena. So having an icon like her will motivate hopefully more and more women and girls to go into sports because she's achieving so much already. So yeah, I can go on and on and on. It depends on which groups of people who are marginalized that you wish to include.
I see. Okay, thank you. We have a question from Vel Murugan Vadivelu. What are the opportunities available for researchers other than UKM in YSD to contribute to sustainability?
Oh, we have loads of programs with universities aside from UKM. If you look at my slides just now, there was UITM, UMS, University Nottingham, Malaysia. So this just to name a few. If you have a good program that is impactful, apply on our website. That's how everybody does it. Go to yayasan.com website and apply through the website. And if it's a good project, we will come and collaborate with you.
So basically, if you're interested to collaborate with YSD, then we can log on. We can visit your official website.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. Okay, next question from Mr. Petri Martinen, INTI International University. What is your perception of circular economy as the next real economic solution compared to linear counterpart economy?
Wow.
How do you see?
Can I ask Dr. Pierre to answer that? For me, smart circular economy is a way towards a waste-free future. That's a layman's understanding of that. Whatever that goes out comes back into the circular and contributes back to the value of what is being produced and what is being used, and with no waste. So that is what I understand. I'm not sure the rest, and I don't understand the technical jargons that was used. Sorry, not a scientist. I am an accountant and also a little bit of education background here.
Okay. So another question from Razwan. What is Sime Darby current carbon footprint and what is Sime Darby's specific strategy to become net zero? Maybe there is a specific strategy?
Yes, all three Sime Darby companies, yeah, Sime Darby Plantation Berhad, Sime Darby Property Berhad, and Sime Darby Berhad. All of them have their strategies and action plans. I ask you to go to their websites. They are very transparent. That is what Sime Darby is about. It's about a sustainable future, creating a sustainable future together. And that's why the foundation, their foundation, the Sime Darby Foundation, works towards a sustainable future, because that is the mindset and the vision of all three Sime Darby companies. So can I ask our guest to look into the three companies' websites, and each of them have their own strategies very related to their own industries.
Okay, thank you. Now we have a question from Mr. Mazlan Hanafi Basharuddin. How to make sustainable practices become more mainstream?
To make them more mainstream, I would think to make them more understandable by laymen, right? Maybe I can give you an example, right? Under our UKM Chair for Sustainability, we have a big KPI on community building and changing mindset of the community towards going to making changes in climate action, climate mitigation, as well as adaptation. So, and we want to focus on B40 communities. That means communities who are not maybe not that exposed to climate issues, for example. And now, how do you take whatever that is in research, all the findings and all your knowledge that has been developed from your research on climate action, and change it into something that can be actioned in a community of B40s? That is a big challenge. And that would, I feel, address that question of mainstreaming it. You'll need to, academicians, you'll need to understand that people like me don't understand people like you. When you're talking all these jargons, we get frightened and we run away. We need to have all this in plain language. You'll need to ask your ade, your family members, do you understand when I say this? Do you understand when I say this? Because these are the type of people who will need to understand what they need to do to change their mindset in a community to address climate change. And using scientific jargon, not understanding it, will not make it mainstream. You have to make it understandable and attractive to the layman for them to understand what they need to do in simple layman terms, and what they will do will be so impactful in their communities.
I see. Okay. So do we have any other questions from the floor? Maybe
Can I ask question?
Yeah, sure.
Assalamualaikum Dr. Yatela.
Dr. Pia.
I'm very sure at YSD, maybe like in a year, maybe they get hundreds of proposals. and some might be common, some might be new. Okay.
Yes.
Just wondering, how do YC team they bring themselves to believe in some of the proposal? Like for example, you said the one from what do you call the British Council? British Council is
yes.
totally new.
Yes, for creative hubs. Yeah.
Yeah. How the YC teams, they think this is a good project or something. What kind of
Thanks, Dr. Pierre, for that question. When the proposal comes in, the first thing we will look at is, okay, how big is the funding that we'll need to support lah? And the very next thing that we'll need to look at is the impact. And British Council made a very good case for the impact that will come out of the project if we address the problem statement. So we will look at the kinds of impact that will come out by looking at how critical the issue is in the country. And with that, that will attract us. Then we will start the due diligence. Usually it's that. And it's also looking at whether you've done some project like this in the past that can assure us that you have the capacity, you have the capability and the resources to do this program if we are supporting it and successfully achieving all those impacts that you have put in your proposal. So to us, that is something that will attract our attention, even though we we are not people in the arts. We are not people in sports, for example, but we want to understand what would these projects that you, as the subject matter experts, have come up that would impact and will fit within our focus areas. So for the creative hubs, just now I did not understand anything about it, but it addresses almost all of our focus areas in our arts pillar. It would be great if you could look at our focus areas in each of our pillars and connect that with the impact that your proposal wishes to make.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Yatela. Okay, we have another question. Does SIME currently consider itself as an entity with social license to operate? Does SIME believe in a just transition? Can you elaborate about that?
Social license to operate? I don't think I understand that. There are 4 Sime companies. Okay, Sime Berhad, Sime Plantation Berhad, and Sime Property Berhad. They are profit-making companies lah, corporates, multinationals, right? And then Yayasan Sime Darby, we are a company limited by guarantee, and we act as the philanthropic arm, doing all the CSR for these 3 Sime Darby companies. When you say social license, yeah, we were incorporated in 1982 lah. Yes, so we kind of have the license since 1982 to do CSR for Sime Darby. I think I'm not sure what it means, but like if he wants to clarify the question, okay. And then what was the second part? Yeah, Dr. Amru?
Does Sime believe in a just transition? Maybe we can ask Mr. Razwan to
explain what he means
directly. Yeah.
Transition.
Yeah, just transition. What do you mean by just transition, Mr. Razwan? Okay,
it's okay. I think we can,
maybe we can proceed
with the others.
Yeah, with other question from Haja, Mrs. Haja. What is your advice on how do we set our own personal convictions and priorities in sustainability? Is there any project or campaign to educate and nurture the sustainability practice in our daily life?
Oh, yes. There's just so much. What Yayasan Sime does, so we support this organization called Free Tree Society. where they give out free trees. We support quite a lot of free trees to be given out to public who go to their place in Bangsa, and they actually teach you how to manage and grow that tree lah. They also give a lot of talks, and they go around with this mobile van, and also they do talks online to those who are interested to learn how to understand what they can do in their homes and slowly make changes towards living sustainably. We also working with like organizations called biji-biji mereka in a rumah Selangorku, locals apartments in Bandar Bukit Raja, on how to recycle and what's the importance of recycling. These in towards coming up with a proper, hopefully, guidelines on how to recycle for apartments, for strata properties, so that we personally can take the right steps towards living sustainably in our homes, our own homes. So the personal conviction, it is up to you. But number one, get the knowledge first. Get the knowledge of what you are able to do and how you can do it, and then decide and prioritize what you want to do first and what's next. So I would think those would help you to set the priorities in your life on how to live sustainably. And also you can work with partners towards programs to have more impact on sustainability on communities, in areas, etc., etc. But it's all totally up to you on what you intend to do.
Okay, Mr. Razwan has explained just transition means ensure social and climate justice while performing your sustainable practice. For instance, in reducing your carbon footprint, the interests of the most vulnerable group are duly safeguarded.
Yeah, so I would think that these are all at the corporate, the 3 Sime Darby corporates. So I would also recommend Razwan to go to the websites or contact the 3 Sime Darby companies, because I know they're doing so much on the ground on sustainability, on their carbon footprint, as well as ensuring that the communities around their areas, in their industries, are taken care of and looked after towards sustainability as well. And so aside from all the stuff that they're doing in their operations, they are also donating to Yayasan Sime Darby to do all the stuff, well, not all, but some of the stuff just now that I showed, because I could not show everything, for our 5 pillars towards a sustainable future. So, when you look at their website, see, okay, this company is already doing this towards net zero strategies on the ground, to be more transparent, carbon footprint, what they're doing, all on these things. And then also know that they are also donating millions of ringgit every year to Yayasan Sime Darby to do all the work that we are doing here. And then with UKM as well, that 15 million came from profits from these 3 Sime Darby companies. So it's not easy, making profits to give to Yayasan, and also on the ground doing all the stuff towards sustainability as well. But they are, and I think they are doing a good job, inshallah. They are progressing.
Inshallah. Okay. So maybe final question from the participants, from Wee Hin Bu. Maybe Dr. Bu, you want to read aloud your question and ask Dr. Yatela directly? Welcome, Dr. Bu. Yeah.
Sorry for my background. So kudos for your presentation. It's a very inspiring presentation. I would like to ask, with this never-ending pandemic that we are facing right now, so what are the priorities of our YSD, and how do so that we as a general public will know the direction of YSD, and we will try to move, like plan our research or our grants according to YSD's goals in the next like 5 years with this pandemic going on. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Bu, for that question. Now, when the pandemic happened, all our focus, I think we were working 3 or 4 times more than our normal workload towards addressing issues, emergency issues on the ground because of pandemic, because of movement controls, because of frontliners needing a lot of PPEs, because of hospitals requiring a lot of medical equipment. So we were looking into the areas where the need was most critical. Now, all the projects that we had in our 5 pillars, all were affected somehow. Some were affected, like for example, Women's Aid Organization. They had so much more to do because of the domestic violence issues escalating during the MCO. More women had more issues and they needed more help during the MCO, right? But there are also our rugby program on the ground. They couldn't move because it's a contact sport. So it has had to stop. Now, for cricket, it also stopped. But for cricket, we also had a very big portion on schools and introducing cricket in an easy way for school children to learn about cricket. And that they improvised and they learned how to teach students online on how to play cricket. And with hopes to get even more girls to be interested in cricket. So our current projects at that point of time, a lot of them were affected, but changes had to be made in the programs. Like for example, the Us Dance Company, everything had to be online. They had to develop, things online, everything else. So at that point of time, focus was on the COVID, and we did not look much, Dr. Bu, on new projects that required people on the ground, because it didn't make sense to present new projects that had a lot of movements, a lot of work on the ground, and at this moment in time, it's not going to happen. And with 2 years almost, and a lot of things are still restricted at schools, only projects which were kind of online we would look at. Things that are hybrid, potentially can be done physically as well as online, were prioritized. But going forward, as you said, is in the never-ending pandemic. But now things are getting much better, and I know the Omicron is here. That is a very good example of how the world is not working together to address the problem of vaccination inequality, which is going against our SDGs. It's going against SDG 10. And because of that, the whole world suffers when new variants come out. Because, like, for example, Africa's, I think the vaccination rate is just like 3.5% or something. So new variants are bound to come up when there's no equality in vaccination. Why am I talking about vaccination and Omicron? Okay, because now things are much better. But hopefully we are going to manage to contain Omicron. We are now proposing to support new projects that have work on the ground physically, but with the right impact. But usually we will look at programs that have a hybrid process and procedures as well, so that, say, if something happens and you can't move, there is also this part when you can move online or using some other kinds of platforms to achieve the objectives of the project. So that's what we are focusing now, Dr. Bu. It'll have to be something hybrid if possible. Of course, with a big impact that achieves our objectives and are in line with our 5 pillars, focus areas. Hope that answers, Dr. Bu.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Dear all, I'm sorry as we have limited time for Q&A and we are approaching 5 p.m. already. And it looks like we have covered so many questions raised. Now, Dr. Yatela, is there anything else you wanted to cover before a wrap up?
Okay, maybe just a little saying that whoever we are, in whatever organization we are in whatever capacity that we are playing, whatever role that we are playing, we can make a difference in sustainability in whatever small way. I truly believe this, and I urge every one of us here to think about that. And if you're not already doing something towards a sustainable future, let's think about something, plan something small, and go ahead and do it so that all of us will have a sustainable future, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you, Doctor. Dearest participants, it looks like we have reached the end of our event today. On behalf of the organizing secretariat of this webinar, I would like to once again thank Dr. Hjh Yatela Zainal Abidin for the insightful knowledge that they shared with us today. Thank you everyone and Dr. Yatela for the wonderful talk today. I believe all participants have acquired useful knowledge from what we have discussed just now. I would like to remind all the participants to kindly please fill in the attendance form on the chat column in order to get the certificate. Before we end this webinar, I would like to invite all of you to join a photography session. Dear all, please turn on your camera and we can have a photography session together with Dr. Yatela. Again, please turn on your camera.
Okay, we give 10 seconds to already.
Okay. Freestyle.
Okay, ready, yeah?
Okay, ready.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Wait. Okay, once more. Ready? Freestyle. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Once again. 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, that's all.
Okay, thank you. With that, I would like to end this session by reciting Tasbih Kifarah and Suratul As together. Okay, thank you again, Dr. Yatela, for your time. Wallahu alam. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you,
Salam.
everyone.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Dr. Yatela. Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Tia.